All praises and glory goes to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yahshirallah. And salutation to the Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching the truth and sincerity, and keeping the faith of Yahawashi and the gospel. This is Hawa Ya'ala. I wanted to go into a topic concerning the Northern Kingdom. This is basically going to focus, primarily on smallpox, which again is proof that the natives that were over here on this side of the world were Israelites. All right, now what a lot of these scoffers, especially of the Southern Kingdom, I'm pretty sure there's, so many people that, of course, are waking up from the Northern Kingdom at this point. And, of course, you're going to get these scoffers from the Southern Kingdom primarily that are going to basically say that they're not part of the 12 tribes. All right, because one, those people that say that, they have no understanding of the prophecies. All right, they have no understanding of the curses and how those match up with different people on the face of the earth. All right, now the so-called white man, he knows that these were the Israelites, and if you look in a lot of their past documents, all right, which brothers have brought out on numerous occasions, they even admit that they know that these are the lost 10 tribes. Okay, so at the end of the day, all the if you look at the Northern Kingdom in terms of how they lived, even though they were going off, just like the Southern Kingdom was going off, there was a lot of customs that they were keeping that were only given to Israel. They were not given to these other nations to keep, okay? Whether it's Gad and Reuben following the land Sabbaths, all right? Whether it's the wearing of fringes, whether it's the unleavened bread, which you would know today as tortillas, okay? They followed all these things. A lot of these scoffers, y'all don't have the breath, all right, that is giving you life so you can see these things. You're just basically, dead men walking, all right? And you're going to continue to scoff, but none of you can break down, all right, the prophecy concerning smallpox. None of you can break down why the Southern Kingdom was not getting smallpox. Y'all cannot break that down. Y'all don't understand that Deuteronomy 28, that it was going to basically be a sign of the different curses that was going to fall upon Israel, and some of those curses fell harder on the Southern Kingdom, and some of the other curses fell harder on the Northern Kingdom. All right, one of those curses that fell upon the Northern Kingdom was smallpox. Okay, which is written within the law, which we're going to get into. All right, so first let's go ahead and go into Daniel 9 and 11. Yea, all Jerusalem have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of the Most High, because we have sinned against him. And he hath confirmed his words which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem. Okay? And the thing about it, is this is a confirmation, all right, that was written in the law. All right? The Most High's word did not go out void when he gave that to Moses. Okay? And our people being ignorant, not believing that the Most High was going to be true to his word, they had cast his word behind them and thought that it was okay for them to go off. Not understanding that the things written in the law are binding. Those curses are binding. Okay? And it says that what was brought upon us was a great evil. Okay? Now that word, when you go into the word for evil, it's Ra'ai. Right? So it looks like it's Ra'ai. And it says bad, evil, bad, disagreeable, malignant, bad, unpleasant, evil. Right? So you pretty much get the picture. Now, what was some of the things that was a great evil that was brought upon our people? All right? It was brought upon primarily the Northern Kingdom. All right? Because like I said before, you scoffers, you cannot point out the breakdown of this particular curse and try and see if you can find a way to put it on the Southern Kingdom. Right? Because like we said before, and we say many times, some of these curses, when you examine the law, fell harder on the Southern Kingdom, and some of them fell harder on the Northern Kingdom. The Most High had each side, all right, of the nation of Israel have certain things that was going to fall upon them. All right, but when you put it together, it shows that collectively that we're the Israelites. Okay, it says here, Deuteronomy 28:35, and it says, Yahweh shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot up to unto the top of thy head. All right, and that right there is smallpox. All right, I don't want to put too many pictures up, but if you look up smallpox and you do just a Google image search, all right, and you see the pictures of smallpox, you're gonna realize that it's a serious disease, and it wiped away a lot of our people. Okay, took out tens of millions of them, through these damn Edomites. All right, because the Most High set up the so-called white man to bring forth a lot of these curses. And if you read through the different curses, a lot of those curses was really brought upon through the hands of Esau, which is basically the whooping stick of the Most High. Okay, now when you look up the word there for the sore botch, if you notice, that thing is also ra'ai too, all right, for sore. So that's an evil, a bad, all right, a terrible, all right, botch. All right, now let's look into the word for botch. All right, now when you look into the word for botch, it says, let's see, sachayan. All right, so you got sachayan, which basically, when you go down, it says boil, inflamed spot, inflammation, eruption. All right, and it says a man of leprosy over a man or a beast, but really it goes into the boil. All right, now when you look again, like we said before, when you look at the smallpox, those are boils all over the skin. All right, and what did it say in the curse? It says we'll go into it again. It says, a smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy feet or foot unto the top of thy head. Okay, and that was basically, it scarred people. Even if someone survived that smallpox, they were always scarred with that smallpox. All right, most people died. All right, and who brought it? The Most High brought it, but he used the so-called white man to do it. Okay, and we're going to get into that right now. All right, now it says here, when we go into Native American diseases and epidemics page over on the Wikipedia, it goes into a few of these things. All right, so it says the spread of diseases from European contact may not have always been accidental. All right, so even they know it's not always accidental. Why? We're going to get into it. Europeans arriving in the Americas have already been exposed to the diseases, attaining immunity, and thus were not affected by them. Therefore, diseases could be an effective technique as a biological weapon when others were exhausted. Okay, and see that Esau, he's always been using biological weapons as a means of warfare. All right, and Most High willing, I'll get into that lesson as well. All right, for what happened in the time of the in Europe when Jake started getting taken down, and some of the things that Esau did over there. All right, there is only one documented instance in which a disease was proposed to be used as a weapon against Native American tribes. During the French and Indian War, Jeffrey Amherst, 1st Baron Amherst, Britain's commander-in-chief in North America, suggested using smallpox to wipe out their Native American enemy. In his writings to Colonel Henry Bouquet about the situation in western Pennsylvania, Amherst suggested that the spread of disease would be beneficial in achieving their aims. Colonel Bouquet confirmed his intentions to do so. All right, now here's one of the quotes, all right, from that particular letter. All right, and he says here, you will do well to try to inoculate the Indians by means of blankets, as well as to try every other method that can serve to extirpate this execrable race. Okay, now this shows you that the so-called white man has an extreme hatred, all right, for the 12 tribes. All right, the so-called white man didn't feel like this about them East Indians, all right, or about those Moabites or Ammonites. This is how they felt about Jake. Okay, they wanted you to be wiped off the face of the earth. All right, and they really only wanted to keep Jake around just because they wanted Jake to be completely miserable. All right, to put Jake into hardcore bondage, hardcore slavery. All right, to be able to go at times to go and massacre Jake whenever they felt like it. Really, they just kept Jake around really for their own enjoyment of entertainment to put hell on our people. That's part of their nature. They can't actually live without Jake being here because they want to see Jake in a low state of mind. They want to see Jake destroyed, okay? These damn devils. All right, now when you go into those words that he was saying, he said the word extirpate, all right, which that's to root up, to root out. 1530s, usually figurative from Latin extirpatus, all right? And it basically, when you go into it, just root out, eradicate, pull up by the roots, all right? And that's what they wanted to do, eradicate. So they wanted to completely eradicate our people. You go into the word as well, you see here, the other word was execrable, all right? Now, that word execrable, when you go into it, abominable, deserving of curses, okay? And so look, deserving of curses. What was one of the curses that they felt we were deserving of? The same curse that was written in Deuteronomy 28 and 35, which was the smallpox, okay? So the so-called white man said that that particular thing that he was going to deliver was something that they felt that the Native Americans were deserving of getting. They were deserving of these different curses that they were going to put upon them, all right, which was written all through the law, which includes the taking away of their land, all right, splitting up of families as well, taking away their kids, because they did that to the Northern Kingdom too, all right. They would basically split up families, all right, have reservations, have different boarding schools, different assimilation schools that they would have to try and basically take away the culture from the young children, the younger generation, so they wouldn't be able to speak their tongue anymore. They wouldn't be able to keep any of their customs. All right, so that's what the so-called white man did, and all these things that he did. When you go back into the books of the law, when it goes into the curses, the so-called white man brought a lot of those things directly upon our people. All right, down to the T, precept upon precept. When you keep going down these verses, like damn, the so-called white man literally created a system where he was able to bring all those curses. But who gave him that power? All right. The Most High gave him that power because our people fell away, all right? Now, when you go into Pontiac's Rebellion, which basically, when this devil Jeffrey Amherst, all right, and Colonel Henry Bouquet, this is basically what they were trying to do, because during that French-Indian War, they were trying to take over these different territories, all right? And they had basically territories that the French had, right? And there was territories that the British had, and the British was wanting some of the French territory, which was part of Canada, which they ended up getting after that war, all right? So different parts of Canada that they ended up getting, all right? Now, when you read the Pontiac's Rebellion, it says here, Pontiac's War was launched in 1763 by Pontiac, the chief of the Ottawa tribe, and loose confederation of elements of Native American tribes, primarily from the Great Lakes Region, the Illinois country, the Ohio country, who were dissatisfied with British post-war policies in the region after the British victory in the French and Indian War. Of course they're going to be dissatisfied, because so-called white man's a devil, right? He speaks with a forked tongue, right? The so-called white man will make all these different promises to our people, and they'll hold their end of the bargain, but the so-called white man, after everything is said and done, he's nowhere to be seen on any of his promises, because he's the damn devil, all right? And this is something that our people just could not understand. Our people could not understand that this man was this much of a devil. They could not foresee that this man was going to take every single square inch of the Americas, all right? And he was going to continue to lie and use our people to do it, all right? Now let's see what happened as we go further down. With the remove of 2 centuries, General Amherst has been criticized for his conduct during the conflict, in which his fellow subjects were murdered wantonly and savagely by the Indians. And that's good, okay? Because they're damn devils. You know, that's how they're gonna go down, because God is gonna rise up. That's the prophecy, that God is gonna basically turn this back on the so-called white man's head. All right? One of the most contentious and debated issues is whether or not biological warfare was implemented by Colonel Henry Bouquet on orders from Amherst. The suggestion was first posed by Amherst himself in a letter to Bouquet, Bouquet addressed this suggestion in a postscript when he responded to Amherst in the summer of 1763. P.S. I will try to inoculate the Indians by means of blankets that may fall in their hands, taking care, however, not to get the disease myself, as it is pity to oppose good men against them. I wish we would make use of the Spaniards' method, all right, and hunt them with English dogs, supported by rangers and some light horses, who would, I think, effectively extirpate or remove that vermin. All right, so they're showing you that the so-called white man has this extreme hatred, man. All right, and you got these jakes out here that want to join hand in hand with this devil. This is what the so-called white man did to a people who was at peace with them. And right now, the so-called white man has never been showing you, he's never been at peace with our people. Right? That's why a lot of our people, man, they got to die here, man. There's no cure for that sickness, man. If they're not able to come to the knowledge of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahawashi, the only thing that's left for them is death, all right, at the hands of their master, the so-called white man. All right, and if they don't get it by that, they're going to get them by them thermonuclear missiles. Okay? This is what this devil said. And he said, and when you look at it, he says, and hunt them. So they made a sport out of killing, all right, the North American Indians, all right, the tribe of Gad. They made a sport of that, all right. The so-called Spaniards did that to the other northern tribes as well. They made a sport out of killing Jake. But you got these damn demons, all right. These demons talking about, well, look, all 12 tribes are black. First of all 12 tribes are Israelites. That's what you need to understand first and foremost. And you need to, and the second thing is, if you don't understand that who the Northern Kingdom is, and you're calling yourself an Israelite, you're just going to die here anyway, because you can't even the fact that you can't even see who your people are, all right, just shows that the Most High is just not dealing with you at all. So how can the Most High deliver you? You know, see, a lot of y'all are just fulfilling your lot anyway, because see, y'all were wicked, you know, thousands of years ago when we're in the land, and when the Most High brought your spirit back into the current body that you're in, the Most High kept you at that state so that you can receive your judgment. Right now, when you go down further down, it says, in response, also in the postcard, Amherst replied, P.S. You will do well to try to inoculate the Indians by means of blankets, as well as to try every other method that can serve to extirpate this execrable race. That same wording, again, from the other quote, right? This is just kind of going a little bit further. I should be very glad your scheme for hunting them down by dogs could take effect, but England is as too great a distance to think of that at present. But you know they still did it. All this stuff that Esau writes out and puts out saying that, well, look, we probably did do it, we didn't do it. Hey, listen, y'all, your tongue fell upon yourself. The fact that you said it was something that you could do means that you did do it. Okay? You damn devils. And see, that's why when we get into the kingdom, we're going to be putting all kinds of plagues and diseases on you devils. All right? Y'all just going to wake up one day and just have something worse than a smallpox on you. Okay? Y'all devils are going to suffer terribly. Y'all going to suffer terribly. Your kids, we're going to have your kids suffering terribly. We're going to have you crying, and we ain't going to hear you either. We're going to be laughing at you when you're crying. That's what you deserve. All right? And all you jakes out there, all right, that are calling yourself Israel and can't see who your people are, because you basically you are doing the vexing. You are vexing, meaning you are shutting up the word to your brethren. All right? You're being wicked. And that's why the Most High is going to bring a lot of these different things upon you in the hour of Jacob's trouble. Right? The Most High is not going to allow you to just get off scot-free in your wickedness. All right? And all the wickedness that you're continuing to push, and basically trying to, throw away, the gospel to the entire nation from the entire elect. All right? Because the elect is going to come from basically, the natives that are amongst here, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, all right, and the so-called Negroes, and also those that are of the confusion of faith, all right, that are mingled amongst the heathen, okay? So if you're going to basically do that, you're shutting up the gospel, all right, and you're not feeding the sheep. So the Most High is going to have a particular judgment that's going to come upon you, all right? And that judgment may come in the form of a smallpox just to really make y'all bug out. Most High might have, when the time comes, he might have a smallpox get on you and your kids. or he just might have it get on your kids, so that way you could basically see them suffer right before you, and then you will remember that the Native Americans, the same people that you basically said were not your brethren, were your brethren, but by that time it's going to be too late. And we're going to be saying, all kahala, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi, all right, because he's bringing judgment on you. All right, so again, this is just another edification, just to further prove, all right, that the curse that was written in the law, Deuteronomy 28 and 35, all right, which we could show is the smallpox that was put upon the northern kingdom by these so-called white people, these Edomites, all right? So again, wanted to make sure we bring out this edification, right, to continue to go up against the lies of this damn devil and all the lies that he continues to put out to basically try and say that we're not Israel, all right, by basically sowing up that discord and throwing up those false doctrines out there, right, that leaven that a lot of these jakes are eating up, and then coming back saying that they're not Israel because they follow the so-called white man, not understanding, all right, the prophecy, the words written in the law. All right, so again, all praises and glory goes to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Yasharallah. And salutations to the Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, preaching the truth and sincerity and keeping the faith of Yahawashi and the gospel. Shalom.